us today. I made 2 batches of different kinds of cookies. I did a peanut butter, like a coconut raisin, and then I did with chocolate chips, and then I also did chocolate chip with coconut, raisin, and walnut, and then separate without anything at all, because my husband doesn't like he doesn't like chocolate chip cookies with anything in it, really. No walnuts especially. Yeah, so I did that, and then we made a big huge thing of beans. The house smells so good. It smells like love. Lots and lots of love. I love the way a house smells when you're cooking. What else did we make? We made hummus. Oh my gosh, there's nothing like homemade hummus. So I did that as well. It was cooking day, sorry. It was really a long day of cooking, so it's kind of just a bit, there's just enough light for me to hurry up and get this done. So hopefully, yeah, here I go jabbering on. It's October 24th. Tomorrow is my anniversary, officially October 25th. Okay, sorry, here we go. I am not a strict vegan. I'm not either, because I'm a hedonistic pig. If I see a big chocolate cake that is made with eggs, I'll have it. Grace Slick, born 1939. Freedom within limits is important in a rich, balanced life. As addicts, we have bottom lines. Abstinence is prudent for a drug addict, but if we apply the same absolutes to every area of living, we may explode or fade away. If we work but don't play, are so disciplined that we can't be spontaneous, we haven't reached a higher plane. If we are so hard on ourselves that we are hypercritical of ourselves and loved ones, chances are we need to loosen up on our definition of sobriety, living in the solution. Healthy boundaries are moving targets. Can a vegan have a chocolate bar without feeling like a fraud? Only the individual can judge. If we are compulsive spenders, can we go for an unscheduled lunch at a nice restaurant with an old friend we have unexpectedly bumped into? That depends on our individual bottom lines. There are a myriad of choices for this situation. Within our values, there are both restrictions and freedoms. Sobriety isn't a punishment for admitting we are addicts. Quote, rules are meant to be broken, end quote, is a slogan to live by. Meta rules are rules about rules. When and how they should be used, as well as who can break them and when. For example, after being told by a parent never to lie, a child witnesses the parent saying, "I don't have any money," to a panhandler. Outside the home, lying to the homeless is an exception to the rigorous honesty that is expected of one another in the home. In time, we intuitively know when it's no biggie to break a rule. A vegan drug addict having dairy is a far cry from a heroin slip. However, we can't expect or demand that others adhere to our interpretation of what rules are sacred and when and how other rules can be broken. We may feel we've done nothing wrong, yet never be trusted by another. Do I have rules and limits in my life? Are they good for me? What happens when I adapt them? What happens when I break them? How do I feel? How do I react? What are the consequences? The girls and I and my husband have we all wanted to try really hard to be vegan, and I would say we're mostly vegetarian because from time to time we slip, and I will have meat. My husband, not so much. The girls, definitely. And I've known as a parent, I can't make hard, fast rules for my kids. Because if I want my kids not to just bounce and do whatever with everyone, like eat as much chicken at Chick-fil-A or eat as much chicken, at, I don't know, McDonald's, then the nuggets, right? And they'll do chicken nuggets from time to time. So, hard, fast rules for kids, I know it doesn't really work. So we will go and look at why veganism is important. And so hard, fast rules for me just never seem to stick. Not with my family. I like how absolutes, right? Absolutes. If we do absolutes, we explode or fade away. And I would say that I don't have absolutes. So it's really important for me to have some fluidity in my rules, especially because I came from a place where there were so many rules, and yet everyone was doing things quietly behind doors. So I noticed that not everybody was following them. They were given all these rules. It was harder to really live the rule in day-to-day life. Meta rules, it says, are rules about rules, right? Rules about rules. And then a child sees a parent lying to a panhandler, saying, I don't have any money. So lying to certain people outside the home is no biggie, right? You can break the rule. I try not to do that in my home. I'm sure I can improve. It's you ask my children, they don't have filters. I'm sure, there are rules that I've broken that I said that they had that I expected them to go and follow, and yet I didn't follow them. So yeah, I'm sure my kids have lots of stories they could tell you, right? So that's part of learning how to be a parent. And as far as kids are concerned, they see right through us a lot of the times, and they can pick out our hypocrisy a lot easier than we can. A vegan drug addict having dairy, right, is a far cry from a heroin slip. So yeah, I think we make rules for ourselves, but others will see that we break them. So yep. Do I have rules and limits in my life? I do. I set rules and limits on my own. I don't have a book necessarily that I go by. The structure that I had before as a fundamentalist Christian it still runs through my life. I'm not a drinker. I drink from time to time. I don't like to go out late at night and not be at home with my family. I enjoy being with my family. Family is important to me. What happens when I break my rules? I try not to be too hard on myself. Right now I don't have rules. I don't live by set rules. But I feel good when I don't break my rules, right? If I set the rules up and then I give them to my kids, and I follow what I said that I wanted everyone to follow in the home, I feel good when I'm the example. I know that I have to be the example in my home. So yeah, I really try and live by that, because I don't like to see hypocrisy, and I don't want my children to see hypocrisy on my part as well. But that doesn't mean that they don't see it. I'm sure they've seen it from time to time when I slip up. I like being spontaneous. I don't like being disciplined. I don't like having a set all the time. I do think it's important from time to time, but I don't really have, I don't really set strong, hard, fast rules. And I had a friend, and we went to school together. She was my sweet friend, and she was an addict. She ended up having a really difficult life. She was not one of Jehovah's Witnesses, but she definitely believes in God. I think I remember with her first son, she had a mouth. She would cuss all the time. I think the F word was every other word. That's how she spoke. So when I had visited her, I didn't have children yet. I was probably around my 30s. Yeah, around my 30s. It was just after my dad had died. I went up to Riverside and I got to see her. And her son started cussing, and she got really angry with him. And she just like laid into him, and I just felt so uncomfortable. And I remember singing in front of him, but you know, so-and-so, you cuss all the time. Why are you so upset with him? Why are you upset with these words? And he turned around and he's like, yeah, Mom, why? And so I think, yeah, I just think adults should lay off kids if adults are expecting children to behave a certain way, they have to too. And that's how I try, and I try and behave the way I would want my children to behave. We're not perfect parents, right? We don't always do what we want, what we would like, but we do the very best that we can. So I have two children. I have a 15-year-old and an 11-year-old, and this is a time period that I realize they're watching everything, right? They watch everything. So they watch when I break my rules. And how does it affect everybody? What are the consequences of breaking the rules? So yeah, I think it's interesting how life unfolds when you let hard, fast rules go, but you still keep the ones that keep a family happy. And that's the rules that I like. I like those rules that keep a family happy. So finding a nice balance in what I've been taught, and then how to live my life without all the hard, fast rules that come with how I learned before. Yeah, so I hope that helps you. I know as parents, when we leave a structured way, always very structured way of doing things, I think that has a lot to do with just control, right? Control. You have to control everything. And when you realize that, you know, you don't have to, it can still be fine without not having that intensity that comes with control. Yeah, it's much more pleasant to live with that, not having all that feeling of control as a parent, and just knowing that what you taught them and the foundations that you gave them is going to follow. It's going to help them take that foundation with them. So we do a lot of reading together, and we talk a lot, so that helps. It helps. And then you just hold your breath. 70-30. If you get it 70% wrong and only 30% right, you're doing a good job. So as a parent, So don't forget that. If you do it 70% wrong, that's a lot of mistakes. Only 30% right, you're doing a good job. So give yourself a break and pat yourself on the back and keep going. I hope this helps you on your healing journey. Follow your bliss and be good humans.